You track freight invoices on a cracked monitor in a windowless back office. The desk is the same, the paycheck is the same, and absolutely nothing moves. An envelope arrives on a Tuesday, and you know before opening it that the number has grown again. Your mother's medical bill is $11,400, but your savings account holds exactly $847. You have been staring at this precise number for 3 years straight. In 2026, the math of affording a normal life feels brutal, and for most people, the shocking cost of simply surviving is enough to break them. You do not sleep that night, but it is not from panic. Panic stopped moving you a long time ago. You realize that you've been routing money for other people, watching it flow through accounts you will never own. You finally understand that money is not a destination, it is a system.
Systems can be entered from any door. So you open a brokerage account with $200. It feels absurd, and your brain tells you it is a waste of time, but you do it anyway without hesitation. You buy fractional shares of an index fund because time in the market is the only variable you actually control. You automate the investment before you can spend it because you are building a floor, not a ceiling. To speed up the math, you pick up a second job doing weekend bookkeeping for a small construction company for $400 a month in cash. The owner is losing 11% on miscategorized material costs, and when you directly point it out to him, he writes you a bonus check. Competence without ego at the entry level opens doors people never expect. Every month, you track the medical debt balance and watch the number fall. Slowly at first, then faster. 14 months later, the debt is completely gone. You do not celebrate. Instead, you redirect every single dollar, sending the exact same $600 a month that went to debt directly into your investment accounts.
You live on rice and lentils and a salary that should not be enough, but you keep pushing until you hit a critical milestone, $20,000. Hitting the $20,000 mark is the tipping point where everything changes in your personal finance journey. A number that once felt impossible now feels too small, but crossing this line triggers a profound psychological shift. Before this point, your money habits were driven by defensive pessimism and a scarcity mindset. You were terrified of debt, avoiding it like a trap. But at $20,000, you stop treating money emotionally and start treating it mechanically. You understand why most high earners repeat the exact same financial mistakes, falling into the trap of upgrading their lifestyle to match their income. You refuse to do this. You keep $12,000 in a high-yield savings account as an emergency buffer and never touch it. With your mind finally clear of financial anxiety, you study for your real estate license on lunch breaks. You sit the exam on a Saturday morning and pass, treating the license not as a career plan, but as a tool. You are waiting for the right problem to appear, and it does. A distressed duplex with an asking price of $74,000 in a transitional neighborhood. Conventional agents will not go near it, and 3 traditional lenders reject your application because the neighborhood flags their risk model. You find a community credit union, bring 2 years of perfectly clean financial history, and secure a mortgage for $440 a month. You move fast, drafting the lease yourself from a legal template and charging $650 per unit. When a tenant stops paying in month 7, you send the eviction notice with zero emotion. You handle the entire process without any resentment because it is just a process. By the age of 31, you own 3 rental units that all cash flow, and you have $41,000 in index funds compounding quietly in the background. When a colleague asks how you built this, you give them the exact blueprint: lower expenses, automate investments, acquire cash-flowing assets, and never mistake busy for progress. Most people nod like you have given them a riddle, but you stopped being surprised by that long ago. Your quiet competence attracts attention, and a private equity firm contacts you. They do not want your money, they want your eye for distressed commercial assets, offering you 10% carry on every deal you source. You realize that carry is not a salary. It is a share of the upside.
You find a vacant strip mall where the owner is bleeding cash and model a repositioning strategy that projects a post-stabilization net operating income of $180,000 a year. The firm acquires the property for $890,000, and 2 years later, they exit for $2.1 million. Your carry from the deal is $121,000.
You have never seen a number this large with your name on it, but you do not buy a car. You sit with the number for exactly 1 hour. You contribute $80,000 to a self-directed IRA to enter a private bridge lending deal, letting the capital work while you sleep. By 37, you are no longer an employee, having registered an LLC that holds 7 rental units across 2 states. The compounding that started with $200 is finally showing its power, pushing your brokerage account past $200,000. You hire a fee-only financial planner to implement a trust structure, understanding that generational wealth is a structural architecture, not an inheritance strategy. You are now co-sponsoring deals alongside institutional capital, sitting in a room with 4 other principals to co-invest $400,000 into an $18 million deal. You sign the operating agreement with absolute clarity, knowing exactly what you are committing and why. If something happened to you tomorrow, the machine would continue. That is what generational wealth actually means. The market opens again tomorrow, indifferent to everything you have built, asking only what you will do next. If you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe. Until then, keep your vision clear and your mind wise.